Welcome to DRS Zone. And let's just get this out of the way right now. Qatar. This was not a race. This was a psychological battlefield, an absolute pressure cooker.
Oh, it was a complete detonation of the title fight. We saw the raw human cost of what it means to fail in Formula One.
And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to guide you through the chaos, pull out those key details, and really understand why this race matters so much more than just the final lap.
It was a strategic error of monumental proportions. You see that phrase everywhere. But when you see the emotion, that's when you get how bad it was.
Okay, so let's start right there with that psychological battlefield. The cost of a weekend that was almost perfect going completely sour. I mean, we have to start with Oscar Piastri.
Absolutely. A second-place finish, which for most drivers is phenomenal, right?
Right.
But he looked devastated.
Devastated is the word. Our sources describe him in Parc Fermé, just sitting there, head down, arms dropped, completely shattered.
And that emotion was there even before he got out of the car. We're talking about the moment he actually threw a punch at his own steering wheel.
You could almost see the scream of rage, even through the visor.
Yeah, and that was followed by that radio message, "I have no words."
After his engineer confirms P2, he said later it was a second place that never meant so little.
And that just speaks volumes about the stakes here.
So why was it so damaging for him specifically? I mean, compared to Lando Norris, who also lost out on the win.
The body language tells the story, doesn't it? It's two different championship fights. Piastri's reaction was it was a raw, open wound.
Because he felt he'd done everything right.
Exactly. He drove perfectly and felt the championship slip away because of a team call. A strategic blunder that just handed the advantage back.
Whereas Norris was more controlled.
More controlled, yeah. More impassive. Maybe he knew he'd limited the damage to his own campaign, getting back to third. But he also knew they had failed. They had let the bogeyman alive in the championship fight.
And the friction was everywhere. Norris passes Piastri on the way to the media pen. Piastri barely even looks at him.
And then you get the moment with the team principal. The awkwardness was just off the charts.
Oh, the hug.
The hug. The image of Zach Brown giving Piastri this very public hug in the media pen. It was so striking.
Because Piastri's arms were just crossed. He didn't return it at all.
Not at all. It just immediately became this high-definition photo op that felt completely calculated.
So was that a genuine apology, you think? Or was it pure theater for the cameras?
I mean, it was probably a bit of both, which is why it was so powerful. It just shows the pressure these relationships are under in F1. Every mistake feels like a betrayal, and a simple hug becomes this loaded political statement.
Before I move on, there was one moment that cut through all that tension, a bit of pure, high-energy family support.
Yes. The Lando Norris pep talk on the grid before the race. He's surrounded by his family, his mom, his dad, and Carlos Sainz Sr.
The other father, as everyone calls him.
Yeah, and Norris goes right over to him. And you can just imagine the advice being something like, "Go on, Ganale al Hollandes." Go beat the Dutchman.
A great moment, even if the strategy didn't quite back it up later. But okay, let's pivot. Because there was arguably a bigger strategic power shift happening, the visual from Qatar was poetry.
Adrian Newey.
Adrian Newey, the legend, inspecting the Aston Martin AMR 25.
I mean, the gravity of this is just immense. This is the man who engineered championships for Vettel, and he's not just looking, he is physically touching the side pods, inspecting the aero on Alonso's car.
With Alonso watching him in the mirror, it's something you would think was a fantasy a few months ago.
And he wasn't just looking at the Aston, was he?
No, our sources spotted him examining the Mercedes, the McLaren, all while holding that slightly frayed notebook.
That little black book of secrets. What on earth is he sketching in there?
We can only imagine. But it's clear he's not just a figurehead. He is already deep into analyzing the 2026 designs.
He's looking at philosophies. He sees something in that Aston concept.
Well, one thing he definitely doesn't need to teach Alonso is racecraft.
Oh, absolutely not. Alonso's defensive masterclass was on full display.
The famous Alonso train.
It's sublime. On a track like Losail, where it's almost impossible to overtake, meeting an Alonso train is it's one of the three inevitable things in life, right?
Yeah.
Death, taxes, and an Alonso train. He just anchors the pack, drops the speed, and forces everyone behind him to burn up their tires. It's a weapon.
A total weapon. Now, before we get into the heavy technical stuff, we have to mention the weirdest moment of the weekend.
It has to be Novak Djokovic teaching yoga on the grid.
So bizarre.
It was truly random. Yeah. But the real gold was Franco Colapinto trying to do it. The hyperactive kid, his lack of focus was It was meme gold.
We're laughing, making gestures at Verstappen later.
Yeah.
It was a bit of light relief we all needed. And just for a moment, if you're watching this on YouTube, welcome to DRS Zone. Don't forget to subscribe for more F1 content and definitely hit that notifications bell.
Yeah, and a quick disclaimer here. This segment is part of our news coverage of recent F1 events.
Right. So back to the chaos. Track limits.
What a joke. And it was all driven by the size of the gravel.
I saw a reporter holding up a piece of it. It was a boulder.
It was a massive chunk of rock. They were saying you see croquettes smaller than this gravel. When you have that right off the track, it's just asking for trouble.
And that trouble found Hajar's car spectacularly.
It did. And everyone assumed, gravel, puncture, simple. But the technical autopsy showed something much more complex happened.
Okay, walk us through that.
So the sources confirmed the left front winglet was vibrating like crazy over the curbs, just violently. Eventually it just snapped. Clean off, you could even hear the clonk.
Wow.
That broken piece then gets wedged under the front tire. And that caused the failure, not the gravel directly. A tiny stress leading to a massive failure.
Incredible. From mechanical failure to, well, communication failure. The big controversy that broke the internet. KIMI, Antonelli, and Max Verstappen.
The reaction online was insane. Threats aimed at a 19-year-old kid. It was completely disproportionate.
And all fueled by one radio message.
One single incendiary message from Red Bull's engineer, JP. He gets on the radio and claims Antonelli deliberately let Norris past.
And that just lit the fuse on social media.
It required immediate intervention.
Yeah.
You had Toto Wolff stepping in, clarifying there was no strategic interference from Mercedes.
And then JP himself had to walk it back.
Crucially, yes. He later asked for a pardon, basically, for a message he admitted had just needlessly inflamed the fan base.
And the proof was in the pudding, right? That image of Antonelli and Verstappen greeting each other.
Exactly, just normal friendship. If the drivers aren't fighting, the fans shouldn't be either. It's the essential takeaway.
Okay, let's get into some proper F1 technical porn. Mercedes inadvertently gave us a gift.
A huge gift. They released footage showing the rear of their car completely exposed, just naked. A phenomenal look at the internals before the new regulations hit.
So what did we see? Break it down.
You could clearly see the radiators tucked away, and next to them, the side impact structure. It's this carbon fiber pylon bolted to the chassis to absorb crashes. And you could see how the shape of the radiator perfectly follows the aerodynamic curve of the side pod. It's beautiful.
And the insulation detail was something else.
Yeah, the gold leaf. It's this film they used to insulate the fuel tank to protect it and the driver from all the heat.
But the detail that just blew my mind.
It has to be the bolts.
The bolts.
Our sources detailed this. The entire structural engine block is attached to the chassis with only 5 studs or bolts.
5. That is just... It's engineering at the absolute limit.
It really is.
Okay, from surgical precision to absolute celebratory chaos, the podium.
If Carlos Sainz is on the podium, 2 things are coming.
Yeah.
A selfie and the champagne anarchy.
Led by his manager and cousin, Carlos Eduardo.
The terrorist, as he's known in the paddock for his enthusiasm.
And that enthusiasm led to an incident with James Vowles. The rumor was Onyoro shoved the Williams team principal to the ground.
But we demanded a bar review. We looked at the slow-mo.
We did the verdict.
I think he touched the ball. No penalty. Vowles basically tripped himself up in the champagne spray. It was just classic podium mayhem.
But amid all that, the real strategic hero of the weekend was very quiet.
Hannah Schmitz, the Red Bull strategist.
Yeah.
While McLaren was having their meltdown, she just made Max Verstappen's life easy.
It was clinical. A flawless execution that secured another crucial win.
That's how you win championships. Relentless consistency.
So when you look back at this whole weekend, you see the pure speed, the devastating human error, all that raw emotion. But there's a silent hero in all of this, isn't there? The one who changed the entire championship picture.
There always is. It's a classic F1 narrative, the anonymous sacrifice that changes destiny.
We're talking about Nico Hülkenberg.
Exactly. His car failure, which brought out that crucial safety car on lap 7.
That was the lifeline Verstappen needed. It gave him the window to separate from the McLarens, switch his strategy, and just cruise.
It completely neutralized the threat. It echoes so many past seasons, this idea that the championship journey is powered by these anonymous sacrifices.
So we leave you with this final thought to chew on. After seeing Piastri's raw, visceral rage, was that emotion justified? Or is this just the cold, cruel reality of fighting for an F1 title, where a championship is won not just by the fastest driver, but by the anonymous car failure that hands you an advantage?
The stakes are impossibly high. And Abu Dhabi? It's now demanding its final sacrifice.
Make sure you don't miss a single corner of our analysis. Follow DRS Zone on all platforms, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. We'll see you on the grid.